Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here. Back again with another video. Excuse me. You see the thumbnail, you see the title. Let's get right to it. Perfect spot, perfect landing spot for Baker Mayfield. Um, in my opinion, the perfect landing spot for Baker Mayfield would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, I know Tom Brady announced that he was coming back to play this season, but I think Baker Mayfield would learn a lot if he was on the bench for a season. Now I think Baker's a talented player. I think he's a talented quarterback. I don't think he's the most talented, but he does have talent, and I think he is a starting NFL quarterback going forward in the future. But Baker needs to learn how to deal with people, and I don't think that he ever really learned that. I don't think he really needed to learn that in college. Most of the time in college, the most talented people play. It doesn't matter how well you deal with people. How well you deal with teammates and things like that. I mean, it does matter to some degree, but it's not the end all be all. But I think Baker needs to learn how to deal with the NFL game. I think he needs to learn how to deal with the NFL media. And he needs to be able to cooperate with the NFL franchise, and all the people within it, the GM, the head coach, the offensive coordinator, coaches. Baker does not understand that, his combativeness is going to lead him to an early exit in the NFL. There's not going to be a lot of teams who want to put up with the type of attitude that he has. He's called out teammates for, holding out. He's called out the Cleveland Browns medical staff. He's called out several media reporters in the Cleveland area. That's just not the way you do business, and it's not the way you conduct business as a professional. Yes, you are a professional athlete, and especially at the quarterback position, you have to have some type of decorum about yourself. You can't conduct yourself the way that a defensive back does, or a defensive lineman, or anybody who is not in the spotlight and who's not the face of the franchise, because in most cases the quarterback is the face of the franchise. Especially when you're drafted number one overall. Coming out of college, you win the Heisman. You have a good amount of hype around you. You have to be able to learn how to conduct yourself in a way that's conducive, that a team is comfortable with you being the face of their franchise. So that's why I think Baker needs to chill for a year. I also think it'll help his injuries as well too. He was dealing with a lot of injuries last year. He wrongly decided to play through those injuries. I don't know why. He should have shut it down for as long as he needed to. 6 months. 6 weeks, 7 weeks, whatever it was. But he did need to shut it down. He was struggling, and he was hurting the team because he was not able to make the requisite throws that he needed to make in order for the Browns to have success. So he should have shut it down. Those injuries don't go away overnight. Some of those injuries don't even go away in the off season. So he requires a little bit more rest. So I don't think that he's ready to go out there and just start just go out there and start playing the 17-game season. Especially for a guy of his stature. He's not a big guy, so the more hits he takes, the more damage he does to his body, and the longer he is going to take to recover. So I don't think he is. I don't think he's ready to go out there and just let it fly yet. The shoulder surgery. He had some knee issues. I think he had like a hand or a wrist or something like that. He had a bunch of different injuries that could be nagging if you don't take care of them. So I think him going and relaxing for a little bit, being able to sit on the bench, I think it's going to help his body as well too. And then lastly, get a chance to learn from the GOAT. You get a chance to learn from Tom Brady. Tom Brady, obviously greatest quarterback of all time, but it's not just so much about the on-field stuff. It's about Baker being able to be mentored by Tom, being able to look at his daily routine and what he does to prepare himself. What he does from Monday to Saturday. Not necessarily what he does on game day. We all know what he does on game day, but you get a chance to see what he does to prepare. Prepare his body, prepare his mind. Film study. The proper way to watch film. What you're doing. What you're doing day to day. And even hour to hour. To prepare yourself for game day. So I think that would be a very, very, very crucial step in Baker Mayfield's development. Being able to learn not just from one of the best, but from the best of all time. And I think if he could humble himself to accept that type of opportunity, I'm sure Tom would be happy to give him some pointers and point some things out. And it makes sense in for everybody involved. It makes sense for Baker just for the reasons that I just gave. That also makes sense for the Bucks too, because the Bucks don't really have a solid backup plan after Tom Brady. The Bucks, I expect them to have some type of success this coming season with Tom Brady back. Now I don't know if they're a Super Bowl contender or not. In the NFC, the NFC is not the premier conference right now. So at this point, I would say the Bucks are a contender. Just on paper, but we don't know. We won't know until the season happens. But I do expect them to have some sort of success. So I don't expect them to, be in the top, 15 to 20 picks of the next draft. So they're not going to draft very high. So they're going to need to kind of solidify the quarterback position, beyond this coming season, because Tom, this is probably going to be his last season. He'll be turning 45. I think during the upcoming season, either before or after, but this will be his year 45 season. So age 45, excuse me. So I do think that the Bucks need to look towards the future. And the guys that they have in the building right now, Kyle Trask, we don't know if he could play, and Blaine Gabbert, we already know he is. He's a career backup. So the Bucks need to, it would make sense for them to invest in this and see if Baker can learn from Tom, and see if he can take the reins after Tom is ready to retire for real this time, though, not a fake retirement, but for real. So I think it'll work out. And as far as salary goes, we've been seeing a lot of teams really. There is a easy way to clear a lot of salary cap space before free agency started. There's a list of teams who, basically from 1 to 32, who had the most cap space and who had the least amount of cap space. If I recall correctly, I think the Saints were in quote unquote salary cap hell before free agency started. I think they were like $60 million over the cap or something like that. They somehow got that down, and they didn't even really cut a lot of guys either. They restructured a whole bunch of contracts. They converted some of the players' guaranteed money into signing bonuses. They really got down, and they had enough room. They were in the running for Deshaun Watson. So. And we know the contract that he got from Cleveland. So I think the Bucks would be able to easily accommodate Baker's contract. I think he is on his 5th year option. I think it's like at $18 million. Again, the Bucks can cut that down. They can, give half of that. Restructure a contract, his 1 year contract. Cut half of that down to a signing bonus. $9 million as a signing bonus, and $9 million, paid throughout the season. They could easily do that. And they can fit him and Tom's money in, and still have space to do some more things as well too. So that makes sense from my standpoint. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments what you think. If Baker would be a good fit in Tampa Bay, I think he would. That franchise is full of grown-ups. It's full of adults, and it's full of people who will tell Baker Mayfield exactly what he needs to hear, not what he wants to hear. You look at Bruce Arians. He's a guy. He can get in Baker Mayfield's ass. He really can, and he can kind of bring him back down to earth. I know the GM Jason Light too. They are Tampa Bay has they have a they have a very direct way of communicating with each other, which is good, which I think Baker Mayfield needs right now in his career. I don't think he needs people to beat around the bush with him. I think if he's talking too much, he needs somebody to tell him to shut up. And, I think it'll do a lot of good for him. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think it's a good idea. Some of y'all might not agree with it, but let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. And until next time.